Hey friends out there in YouTube land, today we're going to talk about the RF70 and something nobody's really been talking about with this camera, and its ability to use third-party flash with native support. And it's done pretty simply with a sync cable. Let me show you that. We've got one right here. This is a standard PC sync cable. The right angle end, for those of you not familiar, is actually just a screw-in socket that plugs into basically a little RF jack, but it's not used for any radio frequency. And on the other end of it, you've got a headphone jack. Now, they make several different kinds. Unfortunately, when I bought this one off of Amazon for just a couple dollars, I got it with the 3.5mm headphone jack. I didn't realize you're going to want to use the 2.5mm headphone jack. Let me go ahead and show you where that'll plug in. It actually goes right here, that little spot. And one other pro tip you're going to want to use when you get this cable for just a couple dollars, you're going to want to get a right angle adapter. That way it just stays out of the way and you doesn't have it sticking out of the camera directly like that. Then you're going to need something else. You're going to need a flash. Now, there are several different types of flash, and here's some unfortunate things. The more sophisticated flash become, the less likely they are, especially the name brands, the big brands like you think, to support that PC sync socket. So what can you do? I suggest using something like the Yongnuo YN560 series flash. They're completely manual, which is exactly what you want with this awesome camera. Because you shoot manually, you want to photograph with flash manually. If you're not familiar with how to photograph with flash, I can promise you that using it with something like the RF70 is going to help you learn how to use it pretty quickly. Plus, it's not as difficult as it sounds, and it'll make you a better photographer with more creative and dynamic photos as well. So you've got very little to lose. Okay, now we know about that, we need one other thing, and that's going to be a flash bracket. The bracket's going to be very important because we're going to want to put this on the camera and carry it around. Now, let's show you how that works right now. We take the RF70, we grab our flash bracket, we place the flash bracket, which is a 90-degree angle right there, such that the flash is on the same side as the PC sync socket. You'll see the flash in a second. And then we just screw it in. So here we go. It doesn't take too long. Once we get it plugged in like that, you're good to go. Now you've got a nice handle that you can use that'll help you support your flash. The next thing that you're going to want to do is take your flash, put your panel or digital side so you can set your settings towards you, place it on top of the cold shoe, and then just screw it in. Now you're all together. What you're going to find out is that you're going to need to tighten this screw down on the tripod mount. Mint has included a very nice metal reinforced tripod mount for this. That'll make it nice and sturdy for you. Okay, now that that's done, you're going to need to go ahead and grab your PC sync cable. And this is when you're going to connect your PC sync cable. You connect it to your flash just by screwing it in. Okay, boom, boom, boom. And then you would connect the actual audio jack into your camera. And once you have it together, it'll look something like this. How do you like that? Now you're ready to go. What will happen is when you want the flash to work, instead of just pushing the pop-up button like you see there, the flash will flash every time the trigger is pushed or the shutter button is pushed. So if you don't want the flash to flash at the time, you can either turn the flash off directly or you can unplug the flash. Up to you. Now, you also have another setting on here, which is rear flash, R with the little light. That's excellent because if you want to show something in a dark condition that would normally be moving, then you can have the flash fire on the rear curtain. That's very important. So you've got rear curtain sync. And you can sync with this flash because of the leaf shutter all the way up to 1/500th of a second. Works absolutely great. And if you use bulb, the flash will go off immediately. However, you can still maintain that open flash or the open shutter with the bulb setting. In fact, there's even a threaded shutter release so that you can do that easier. This whole thing mounts onto a tripod because at the bottom of the flash bracket, you're going to see that there's also a tripod mount. So you can place this whole thing onto a tripod for you. One other final thing, if you're going with something like the the YN560 series, the Series 3 and the Series 4 have built-in receivers. The Series 4, like this one, has a built-in transmitter and receiver. That means you can use more than one flash with this setup. Let me talk to you about one other thing, and that is using this camera setup in a very professional sense. Now we've got flash and the ability to do multiple lighting, hair, fill, rim, main, all that other good stuff. What are you going to do with it? How are you going to meter? Well, you're definitely not going to be able to use the meter built into the camera because it doesn't know that you've got multiple flash connected. What you're going to want to do is get a meter and then allow that meter to trigger your flash when you're taking the reading for wherever your subject is. That can be pretty expensive, something like a Sexsonic. So I got another pro tip for you. Why not just use one of your digital cameras? Here we go. I can have this beautiful camera right here. This is the X100F on my neck. I can have the flash put together on this so that it can trigger right here. Now, if I want to take a picture, I can take this with the same settings that I'm using on my RF70, but dial those settings in here and then look at the flash output. Then I'll know that I've got a really great image after I adjust it, that I can use this camera and get that great instant photo. Now you might be saying, Rob, that's a lot of setup to do. I just want a great instant photo. And yeah, if you're doing more casual photography, that's right. But I've been using this trick to dial in my instant photography for bridal shoots for years. And as a working photographer using something like the Mini 90 a couple years back, that was a great way to make sure that the picture was going to come out wonderful. Now that I've got the ability to use an external flash natively supported with the RF70, man, it's going to work even better. So why don't you go ahead and give it a try. Guys, I'm Robert Hamm. Today we've been talking about the RF70, some really great pro tips on how to use external flash with it. I absolutely love it. And just for the fun, let me go ahead and give you a look at the camera once we open it all the way up. It's just really, really nice right here. There we go. That's what she looks like ready to go. Guys, I want to thank you for watching and remind you that I will catch you on the flip side.